Hello, I'm Gina Galati and welcome to In the Nest, the kids show for parents, where we look at issues that concern parents of children of all ages, from newborns to young adults. On tonight's show, boys and cars, a high-octane mix of speed and testosterone. But first, although drivers aged between 17 and 25 account for only 16% of all licence holders, it's a tragic fact that they also represent 27% of all road crash fatalities. That translates to about 200 young people killed on New South Wales roads alone every year. It's an alarming statistic which parents can help to reduce.
What about the side mirrors? Happy with those?
For most teenagers, this is one of the most exciting times in their lives. Getting a driver's licence is a rite of passage from childhood to adulthood, which means freedom and independence. But sadly, it can also mean tragedy.
Road crashes are the second leading cause of death in young people here in Australia behind suicide, so it's quite a serious problem.
It's going to be so good. What are those girls' names again? I don't know, man. It's going to be so good.
And it's a problem which affects young men much more seriously than it does young women. Recent research shows that car crashes kill almost 5 times as many male drivers as female drivers in the 17 to 25-year-old age group.
Young boys, they feel that feeling of invincible or indestructible attitude, and it's always a concern when they're driving off at different times, at night time, daytime, whenever. It's always a concern. First one on the roundabout.
As a father of 3 sons, it's something Bob Lloyd is well aware of.
It is a scary time, there's no doubt about it. I've got one boy through, nearly 21. I've got Chris to get through, and got another one who's nearly 14. And it's always a worrying time as a parent, definitely.
Inexperience and speed are the 2 biggest killers of young men on our roads. But the showing off and risk-taking which often occur when lads get together in a car also contribute significantly.
It's like peer pressure, you kind of do, but I know, you try not to.
At least once or twice, so it's got to happen.
I guess it depends on what? On who's in the car, what mates of yours, and who's trying to egg you on.
Here at YouthSafe, a not-for-profit organisation dedicated to making the world a safer place for 15 to 25-year-olds, they're working on ways to make young drivers safe drivers.
We're just contemplating all the resources generally. We've talked about it for years.
Some of those working here have experienced firsthand the devastation car crashes can wreak on young lives. Prevention, they say, is all about education, and that's where parents can play an important role, especially in those early L-plate days.
Give them as much exposure to as many different driving experiences as possible. Give them as much experience as possible. At the moment, under the graduated licensing scheme, they're required to have 50 hours of logged experience of driving on the road. We'd probably even recommend up to 120 hours, as much hours as possible.
And once they've got their P-plates, parents can still do a lot to help protect their children.
They're often driving mum and dad's car, so at that stage mum and dad have got the right to sort of restrict how many passengers the young person carries, because we now know as young people increase the amount of passengers they carry, their crash rate increases. So for the first couple of months, mum can say, you're only having one passenger in the car with them.
They can also consider themselves as a role model, and that's a really important thing, that parents, the way they drive, can influence the way their young person drives, so that if the young person's used to driving in their parent's car and the parent drives at 30 kilometres over the speed limit, then the young person will think, well, that's what I can do too.
Well done, mate. So how much time do you have?
About 40
Coming up, is getting your baby off to sleep a nightmare?
It's just so exhausting.
More on that later.